Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the City Park Council meeting. If everybody will please stand. Pastor, there he is.
Yeah. Let us pray. Father, we come to you again and say thank you that we're living in such a great nation and a state, the city, God, where we can still call on you, ask you to help us with every decision we have to make, God. We come to you tonight, God, and ask for you to come bless us, God, and bless those in charge tonight, God, as they make decisions that affect us as the citizens. Be with us and bless us. These things we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Mr. Chapel.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Okay, Madam Clerk, you call the roll for me, please.
Miss Barrett? Here. Miss Barrow?
Here.
Mr. Chappell?
Here.
Mr. Haney? Mayor Kelly?
Yes, here. First item is to approve the minutes as written there with your package.
I'll make a motion that we approve them as presented.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second it.
We have a motion and a second. Would you please call the roll, Madam Clerk?
Miss Barrett?
Yes.
Miss Barrow?
Yes.
Mr. Chappell?
Yes.
Mr. Haney? Mayor Kelly?
Yes. Do we have any additions or deletions, council, at this time that we'd like to add or delete? Do we have any items from the audience at this time? Ma'am, will you please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record?
Thank you for reminding me. Anna Marie Morris, 129 North Lakewood Drive. So I just want to remind the council that the infrastructure committee does need to be repopulated, and also in the meeting right now, I'd like people to know how they can find the application. Is it online? Is it in the office? Because I might have somebody that's interested in getting on that committee.
How many vacancies do you have?
Dos.
Okay. Does it require you to be Spanish speaking?
Negative.
Okay. So, you have two, the normal procedure is people pick up an application.
Here?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they fill it out.
All right.
And then we give that to Chief Hutto.
Right.
And then I think, do you guys not pick first, then give them to us for approval?
I think the council looks at the application
Okay.
first and then presents it to us.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
sounds good.
Yes, sir. Okay. So come to City Hall and pick up an application.
Yes, ma'am.
Infrastructure has 2 openings.
Yep, and we just talked about you today. We're getting ready to go have a meeting with you guys to go over some of the stuff that's in the budget for this year.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Anybody else? How you doing?
I'm good. Mr. Mayor, fellow council persons, thank you for given me the opportunity to be here today.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Charlotte Lee Schultz. I live at 810 West Street, and I was the victim of a dog bite on June the 24th. I walk every day. I'm up usually around 5:30, 6:30, and I'm on my walk anywhere from 20, 30 minutes as long as an hour. I always walk West Street down to Lake Street because I like to go to the dock, stand on the dock, and that's where I have my morning prayer. On June the 24th, as I approached the parking lot, I looked over to my right. There is a trailer, and 5 dogs were coming out from under the fence. And as they came out from under the fence, I'm in the middle of the parking lot. Being the nature person that I am and kind-hearted, I simply just look at the dogs as though, hey fellas, how are you this morning? Not realizing that there was danger. And as I began to move, the lead dog came toward me. And then I stepped backward, approaching the dock, but the lead dog kept coming before me, and he started growling. Well, when he started growling, I thought, okay, don't panic. If you run, that's the worst thing you can do.
Yep.
They'll chase you, you could trip, you could fall, any number of things could happen. So I simply kept backing up to the dock, and when I got to I thought, okay, if I make it to the dock, I have 2 choices. If they come on the dock, I'm gonna hit the water, okay? I had already decided on that. But as I put my left foot on the dock, my right leg was still forward, and when I lifted it to make that next step, that's when he jumped forward and caught me on my right leg. That time I was scared. I reached into a little fanny pack that I had on me. Thank God for my brother telling me to carry mace with me. But two problems. I wasn't prepared, so I had to dig to try to find it. Then when I got it, I had never used it before, so I had no clue where the
How to
trigger
fire
was.
it, right.
Okay, I'm definitely more prepared now. But when I got it out and realized how simple it was to use, and I pulled it forward, there was a bulldog that was over here to the left that seemed very calm, but when I moved my hand like this, he backed off, as though, okay, he knew what was happening. The lead dog came forward again. That's when I got him.
Good for you.
Well, when I got him, he went back. All the dogs followed him back away from me, and he kind of laid on the ground. And I thought, okay, if I ease real slow, go off toward the boardwalk, I'll be able to make it home. I probably got maybe 200 feet. That dog came up, and he was after me. I still had the mace in my hand. I just stood there, and I looked at him between the eyes, and I got him again.
Good for you.
This time,
okay.
the pole that's standing right there in the center of the walkway, he dropped at the pole. The other dogs came around him. I said, okay, I'm going to make it now. So I got to the stop sign. When I got to the stop sign, that's when I looked down and saw the blood on my legs. I picked up my phone. I called the police department,
Yes.
which luckily I had a telephone number. The police department, I'm going to give nothing but praise today, because I had a telephone number because of an incident when there were vagrants over in that area around
Yes,
the
ma'am.
dock, and because of all the walking I do,
Yes,
he
ma'am.
gave me a number where I could contact someone, and it ended up being the chief of police. I
Yes,
didn't
ma'am.
realize at the
He's
time.
like that.
I mean, that's just the way he's absolutely awesome. So when I got him on the phone and I explained to him what was happening, he said, well, can you wait there? And I said, well, I really need to get home. I don't know how bad it is, how much blood. He said, how far are you from home? I said, about a block. He said, okay, you get to your house, I'll meet you there. Well, I was at home, barely cleaned up, and he was at the door.
Yes, ma'am.
He had the EMTs there. They told me what to do. Call the doctor. I got to the doctor that morning to get the tetanus shot, and everything. Now, that was on the 24th of June. Since that time, I have been handling with the animal control, with the health department. Everything was fine. I didn't have to go through the rabies shots. But here's my concern that I'm bringing before the council. I have been unable to receive any type of reply as to what happened to the dog.
Did they take the dog, ma'am? Animal control picked it up?
I don't know, because everyone I've talked to with animal control, I get passed from person to person, and they keep saying they had a dog at one time, and they showed me a picture, and I said, I don't believe that's the dog. It's the right color, but it just wasn't it. And when I went, I was in my car coming back from grocery shopping, and I passed by the trailer, and I looked to the left, and there was the dog. He was sitting on the side of the road, and he just stared at me. I stopped in the parking lot, rolled down my window, and I just looked at him, and I got pictures. And when I got those pictures, then I called the animal control. They sent someone over, and they looked at it. And they said, okay, we'll take care of it from here, and someone will get back from you.
Yes,
I've
ma'am.
not heard anything. I don't know if they have the dog, if the dog is still loose, what they've done with it, or what. But, and I've got it in here, excuse me for looking at my phone, because I put the dates in my notes. On July the 11th, Hyacinth is that little cutoff off of West Street that goes over to where the park area is. It's a shortcut. You could actually go to the pickleball and tennis courts.
Yes, ma'am.
I was walking, and I started to make the shortcut, and I looked to the right, and there was a dog. It wasn't the dog, but it was one of the dogs, and he was loose. He was not on a leash.
Okay.
So I just continued with my walk. I keep my mace in my hand now.
Yep.
Then I turned around and I went back to the house. And then on that same day, I was walking down Live Oak, and on Live Oak, all of a sudden a dog shoots out, and when it did, I'm like this, I'm
Sure.
ready.
Sure.
And the owner comes out the door and says, oh, no. It's okay. I'm just letting my dog out to go to the bathroom. And I said, well, he should be on a leash.
That's right. Or in a cage in the yard.
Or something. He said, well, the fence is down. She started making excuses. And I wasn't rude, but I did tell her very frankly. I said, well, if you're going to let your dog out, you put it on a leash.
Yep.
I said, I've already been through a dog bite, and
Right.
the dog should not be loose. she grabbed the dog and put it, back inside. And then yesterday, I got brave, and I thought, okay, everything is settled down. I'm gonna go down the boardwalk. I'm gonna take it real easy, see if there's any chance that the dogs are gone. I got to the end of the boardwalk, looked up, and there's a loose dog. Okay, so I don't know. I'm bringing it before the council. I have notified everyone that I know in my
Thank you.
area with children.
I have a couple of questions.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Barrow, when you were bitten, what did animal control do?
They come,
Did they take the dog?
yeah,
They did.
they
Okay.
take them and keep them and to make sure that they
Got
don't
no
have
rabies, nothing, right?
And then,
Ms. Barrow got bit bad. So,
Well, luckily, mine was okay. It wasn't, that severe, but
Yeah.
it's still a dog bite. Now, they did call me back and tell me that the 10 days were up
right.
and that they were having difficulty contacting the owner.
Oh, and then put it down.
Then one person told me, well, the owner left the premises and left the dogs, but the dogs weren't there. So I've received mixed stories.
Okay.
So this is why I'm coming before the council.
Can we have a few days to remedy this for you?
Yeah, oh, yes, sir.
Might take me the rest of the week.
That's fine. I
Right.
mean, I'm not asking for, say, oh man, tomorrow let's get out here and do this, because I
Okay.
know it's going to take time.
Yep.
But I do want it to be aired.
Could have been a kid.
And to be known.
Could have been walking your grandchild or your child down there.
Right. Well, another thing too is in the area that we live, we should not be fearful of being able to get outdoors, to get fresh air and exercise.
I'm with you.
And what it's come to me now,
I'm with you.
it's a fear, and I walk every day.
Yep.
You said there was 5 dogs?
5 dogs that morning. Yes,
See,
sir.
we only allowed 3 animals, right? In our,
no, I think you can have 5.
But they
There were
gotta
more,
be.
there are more dogs.
They got to
It's
be
just
leashed
5
or
dogs.
in like a chain link fence or something. You can't have people biting your dogs or you or,
Oh, I know,
or
that's
neighbors or whatever.
I'm gonna say,
My
She said
wife
they
and I
come
used to have
under
a
the
lab
fence.
that was
They
very,
need to be
very
secured. They were under-
nice
they were
lab,
under a
but he
fence.
was tender, and you could have bit him easy, and he wouldn't have been able to defend himself. And it's the same if you have a dog on a leash and they come after the dog and you try to intervene, the darn thing bite you too. So if you'll just give me 2 or 3 days,
Yes, sir.
tomorrow morning I have a meeting with the chief in the morning, and we'll talk about it on our way to our meeting,
Okay.
and then we'll find a solution for this.
Well, he'll be very familiar with it because he's been awesome. I have.
Well, he
absolutely
sees me
nothing
looking at him out of my
praise
left
him,
eye, and I
I'm
know he
telling
knows
you.
already.
Yeah, but I have not heard back from him
Okay.
because it was pretty much put in the hands of the animal control.
Yes, ma'am, it normally is.
Yep. and
Normally
we
is.
just haven't heard
I'm
anything.
going to tell you off the hip, animal control is a joke, to be honest
Okay.
with you.
They're
They
good
are.
at charging
I'm
me money. They
beginning to
charge
believe
me
The best
plenty of money.
advice I could give you is get a concealed carry license.
I have that
I'm
covered.
serious. I'm
Good
dead
for you.
serious. Get a
Thank you.
concealed
Good
carry
for you.
license. That's what I've done myself, and I have more comfort with that than any other problem.
Right.
I can speak on this after just dealing with my neighbor being bitten by the dog up here on the 3rd Street in East Park.
Yes, ma'am. Come to the podium.
Kim King.
Yes, please.
Well,
Yes, ma'am.
Kim King, 4716 6th Street. When Barbara Tolleson was bitten by Miss Jody's German Shepherd,
Yes.
because I took her to the ER for stitches and
Yeah.
her hand was mangled,
Yeah.
it's mandatory
So they
reporting.
notify.
And they notified animal control immediately, and they were out the next morning. They told her that the dog would either need to be quarantined in her home, or she would need to send it to the animal control for 30-day quarantine. I don't know what the outcome has been since then,
Yeah.
but they did show up at Barb's home the next day, fill out paperwork, did all that stuff.
Okay.
Because you didn't go to the ER, it may be different for you because
So,
you called animal
just a
control's
couple
record,
questions.
so-
Yeah,
The-
could
the
be, but I appreciate
location-
you coming forward. Thank
The
you.
location that the animals are at, is it a home? It's a trailer, you
It's a
said.
trailer.
They live under the trailer. Are there?
No, there's the yard is it's really weird.
Yeah,
The
It's
yard
right
is
across
fenced
from
in
Martin
on
Lake
the
Boat
front.
Launch. Across the street from
You know,
Martin Lake Boat
there's-
I know
Yeah,
exactly,
right
ma'am. I know
across the
exactly
street
what
from
you're
the
talking
dog.
about.
I've been
From-
chased by the
Yeah.
same
It's that
dog.
black and white mobile home up on the ridge right there, right?
Right there, across
Right
from
up
the
from
dog.
the Peak Park.
Yes, sir.
We've had problems with that
Right
already.
across the street, yeah.
We'll take care of this for you.
Okay, I certainly do appreciate it.
All right. You're
Thank you
welcome,
very
ma'am.
much.
Thank you for
your
coming to tell
time.
us your story. Thank you. Anybody else got anything for us today? All right, here we go. Let me see what we got here. This is a public hearing, bid award recommendation. Mr. Summerlin, are you here today, sir? Anchor could not attend, and they've asked Mr. Summerlin to fill in with this.
Do we need to convene a public?
We
hearing?
do. This is,
I think
Okay,
we're just
before-
accepting the bid, we don't,
Yeah,
I
is
don't
it
think
just
we had to-
accepting a bid
It's
or?
just
Yeah.
a recommendation to accept their bid award.
yeah, we don't need
Okay.
a public hearing.
I couldn't understand why it's put on here that we do, but you're right. Go ahead.
So basically, Anchor's recommendation is that we award the base bid of the $728,500, and then we have two alternates on there. One alternate is a plus of $416,259.50 for the road, and then a negative $4,258 for the removal of the gravel, which would be a award of $999,419. Basically what this bid is basically the base bid is for all the components of the sports complex, the walking track, the stormwater, some concrete or connection areas to DOT's highway, and to finish connecting off the pickleball courts, leveling the area out, putting the walkway through. The base bid included a gravel road all the way through the park with gravel parking. The alternate bid removes the gravel road and makes it a paved road. With the base bid and the alternate, with the insurance money and the FEMA money, the city's gonna have a shortfall of about $220,000 with that alternate that me and the mayor have spoke, and like I said, that's.
We looked at the money in the budget, council, and it's more than enough to pay for a paved road. If we're gonna spend this kind of money, it's my feeling we should have a new paved road running through the center of the park. Also, we're having a water line through there, right, to join the two parks together?
The water line will be not done by the contractor, though.
Okay.
The water line will be done by the city employees.
Okay, yeah,
So the water line is in this project, but it's not funded to them. We will buy.
Buy the pipe and we
material,
will do it.
And we will be putting the water line in
Okay.
when they're under construction.
all right.
So we need a motion for
Yep.
$999,419.
My question is, do you have a swale plan for the, houses adjoining the property?
So basically, the right-hand side is gonna be a total retention pond on the
Yeah.
right-hand side of the road. It's gonna be a complete,
If you're looking at the park, North Ninth Plaza
Yeah.
would be here. There's gonna be a retention pond so that no water can get to North Ninth Plaza,
right. So-
ever.
I disagree.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Well, it's in the plan.
Well, I'm saying that there should be a swale plan on that whole
Well, what-
edge of the
what-
properties there.
Well, the
so
design right
nobody
now
gets
is,
flooding.
that the retention pond, I believe the elevation of the pond is 3 to 4 feet all the way down. And if it gets the maximum to the 3 or 4 feet, it will overflow on Lake Drive. So basically what it's saying is that the entire retention pond, kinda like what we're building over on Love Street, the whole retention pond will be 3 to 4 feet from up here at Business 98, probably about where the power pole is, where the security camera is.
Right.
From right there, all the way to Lake Drive, the whole right-hand side is gonna be swaled down, base about 4.5 feet deep, all the way down to Lake Drive, with a weir for when it hits that elevation, it'll weir out and dump on Lake Drive.
I'd have to see the plans. I'm sure they're in here, but I didn't get a chance to
They're
review
not,
them.
they're actually not in there, but like I
Oh,
said,
obviously.
well, like I said, we've already went out for bid for this, and this is what we're awarding on that. But
Okay.
all the elevations, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, like I said, I mean, all the elevations are being directed toward this pond, and then the pond to overflow on Lake Drive. You know, so I know we have, and this is why this was designed this way, because of the first 3 addresses on the corner of Pridgeon and 9th Street, taking all the water in from the watershed going from the park. So that's why everything, I mean, this is gonna be a significant, I don't wanna say ditch, but it's gonna be a significant hole to contain the water.
I'd have to see it on paper.
Understand?
So, are we gonna, do we have a first, or do we wanna postpone this? Do we want to,
I'd rather postpone it till we see more plans on the.
I can't see through you, Tony.
The grade.
Yes,
I have a question.
yes. Hi,
Hi, Brenda Goldman, 4582 Cedar.
you're gonna make a road from 98 all the way through to Lake Drive. Why are you putting it all the way through when you have one right at the end of the park where they can come in and come that way into the park?
Mr. Summerlin?
The reason
It's
we're
parking
doing
on
that
the
is
side.
because with all the meetings and everything we had, the citizens on West Park requested that road to be closed. That fence will be closed and shut only for emergency access because of all the traffic they've received down Highest and West Park. They don't want the traffic from the events that would be over there going by their homes. So the city had to take the recommendation of making a road straight through so that no homeowner will have to worry about the flow. We had football games and everything over there. They were all parked down their sides of the roads, all down the streets and everything. And then when the game or event or whatever ended, they were taken off like banshees through there. So we're trying to move the traffic away from the neighborhood.
Okay, well, we've only lived here 3 years, so I was trying to figure out why you would cut through
That gate's
again.
gonna go away. That access with all that playground area right there is going away. It's all gonna be grass. It's all gonna be open. You're gonna have to enter the playground and everything from the parking lot and the road that's put in.
Okay, that was all I was curious about.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Haney has asked us to postpone this. Can we provide Mr. Haney with any kind of blueprints like we looked at before he
You
was?
show them the drainage plan, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
I saw something on that though, didn't I?
We've already.
We've already looked at it all. We've already reviewed it all.
Yeah, I thought I saw the ditch and all that stuff.
What do you guys wanna
Piece of
do?
paper.
Well, when do you need, are you wanting to break ground pretty
This is just
soon
a
or
notice of
what?
award. The contractors, we opened the bids, you know, no offense, I just kinda wish that when we
You'd
opened the
come
bids,
to
I
us
got you
before.
the information then, cause then that would've been 2 weeks before today to award this. But I mean, we can postpone it, but again, we'd have to postpone it for 2 more weeks and push it.
Well, it's not going nowhere.
No, but we've
Obviously.
awarded the bid.
We haven't awarded.
Or we're not yet, I guess.
Well, even though it's already made, we can go and make changes if we want to though, can't we?
Absolutely. I mean, I mean, we have one of the, what's your title, Mike?
Estimator.
We have one of the estimators here. So if Mr. Haney's request is that even after we've put the retention pond in and we've put all the drainage in, if he don't feel that that's adequate, we still can go down the entire length of that property and put in a swale or a berm all the way down the run of the sports complex. I mean, it's a swale or implementing something like that is even necessarily the contractor don't have to do it. It's easy enough that the city can put in a dirt berm if that's what he's concerned of. If that's
That would be ideal.
like I said, that's not something that the city can't take upon themselves. It wouldn't be any change to this contract at all. Because like I said, ultimately they would dig the retention and put all the retention in, and then me and you could go out there, review the site, and if you feel that it still needs that, then we can put it in.
Didn't you tell me that, the dirt that we have out there is gonna go and level off
Yeah.
the whole parking area? I
Yeah,
mean,
they're gonna take all the dirt they dig out of the retention.
After it rains, I haven't really noticed that much standing water except by the basketball court. There's an area in there that the water stands, but it's a small area.
Yes, sir. but
The
when-
rest of the field, I drive out there all the time and, I really haven't seen any standing water. So if you're gonna build this, swell or, the retention pond, I don't foresee it really filling up and flowing into.
And sir, I agree with you, but I understand Mr. Haney's concern because the neighbors in that area, I have specifically addressed this retention area because of those neighbors.
Cause
If
that
we
street
have a 6
floods,
to 8
Ron.
inch-
That street floods.
If we have a
Well,
six-
I know it does
Yeah.
on the other side, but,
If we have a 6 to 8 inch hard, steady rain event, those first 3 houses in that, their whole yards go underwater.
right,
That's what we're trying to alleviate.
right.
And I'm not gonna say it's primarily all the city's watershed, but a lot of the watershed comes from that area. So like I said, I'm happy with, if y'all are okay with awarding this, and then me and Mr. Haney evaluate the burn, like I said, it's something the city can take on and do in-house. It's up to Mr. Haney.
Well, as long as we can go back and fix if it's not adequate, we can fix it. I'd say I go ahead and make a motion to have BCL contractors in the amount of $999,419.
We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Do we have a second?
I'll make another comment.
Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on. Go ahead, John.
Years ago, what was it, 2013, 2014, we approved for a $3 million project off of Lake Drive for a retention pond.
Yeah. 3 million, man.
$3 million.
Yep.
And now we're doing another retention pond off of 11th Street and Lake Drive, or Lance Street
Lance,
right now.
yes, sir.
So apparently retention ponds always don't work properly, appropriately.
Everything in Bay County right now that's being built is requiring a pond.
Of course, but they don't know his work.
Correct, because they're all designed on a storm event. And it
Right.
depends on if it's a 20-year event, a 100-year event,
Right.
and ultimately, there's also the act of God. You know, because if you get 15 inches of rain in less than 24 hours, no system's gonna flood it. I mean,
Right.
they'll hold it.
Well, if you're building the sports complex up,
We're not.
No.
No, we're only taking the dirt that's in the pond to level all the, if you drive over there right now with a lawnmower or even with a pickup truck, it's the horriblest washboard you've ever seen in your life. And there's only, I don't even know, I'll speak for it. I know for a fact there's not enough dirt that's coming out of that pond to level all the imperfections in the field.
I have no doubt that BCL can take care of this whole situation, but I would strongly advise to build a swale
Sure.
down the adjoining neighborhood.
That's right. So,
there's
do
no
we want,
flooding.
I don't wanna change it, do we wanna make this motion with the award with the city working with the contractors, either for the city or the contractor to put in?
I would rather we make the motion and second like we have it, and then you and John get together when it's over, and if you need more, make that swell taller. Cause we don't wanna flood North Ninth Plaza, that's for darn sure.
I can go along with that.
Yeah, so I wanna just make sure that everybody's.
Because-
we want this project to be nice, that's one reason why we want the road through there.
Right.
Because we don't want to dust storm everybody on the right-hand side and see all the people doing the donuts, and we don't want the right-hand side flooded. We just absolutely don't want that.
Good deal.
Okay, would you call the
We
roll?
will fix it for you.
We got a first and a
Make sure
second.
we fix it for you.
Ms. Barrett?
Yes.
Ms. Barrow?
Yes.
Get it right. Mr. Chapel?
Yes.
Mr. Haney?
Yes.
Mayor Kelly?
Yes, thanks, John. All right, let's see what we got here. This is the East Second Street parcel split. JB Development, anybody here from there? Anybody from JB Development? JE Development? I guess we can postpone it till the next meeting, huh?
Do they have to be here? You've
I don't know.
already been here
I
all the time.
can't ask many questions.
And the planning commission's already voted on it. Our recommendation is to approve.
Do any of you have any questions for these people?
Well, if they're not here, I mean,
Pretty difficult to ask them.
yeah, it is kind of
Yeah.
hard to ask them when they're not here. I'd rather just table it till they decide to show up.
I mean, preferably, I would postpone it if they're requesting to have a parcel split and
Yeah.
they're coming here to tell us about it, so.
Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will table this to 14 days from today. All right, next item is the Lake Drive parcel combination split. If you guys had a chance, I went there with Mr. Summerlin. It's in your package. I could not walk the lot to get measurements. The planning council passed it off to the city council for review. I went there yesterday, and we could not get on the property because there was a large utility trailer in the area beside the home, so we couldn't make any measurements. The other thing, I got to be honest with you folks, we looked at the aerial survey map, and if you do the 10 foot and the 5 foot, you lose 15 feet off of the strip of land that's gonna be the access and egress from that piece of property. I'd like to talk to the property owners if they're here. Are you, sir? Yes. Come on up to the podium. State your name and address for the record.
Kyle Balliff, live at 394 Emerald Cove in Panama City Beach.
How you doing, Kyle? What is it you want the lot split for?
We want to build another house on the back part of the lot.
Okay, council, you should be aware once the lot is split, it won't go back to planning anymore. My fear is, I wish you had some better plans that, there's no water back there. There's no, we estimate 30,000 to lay a water line back there for fire protection. And, if you bring an engine down that little road beside the house, I guess they're working on the house that's there now. That's why the trailer was right there beside it. That piece of property, council, is landlocked. And I'd like for you guys to go and look at it if you had the time to, but you can't get on there because the maintenance trailer is beside between the house and the fence. But if we laid the line off the road there, and to provide fire protection for secondary structure, we couldn't bring a second truck in because you'd have to drive over the hose in order to bring the truck in there.
Well, I went by there and looked, and my question is it even gonna be once, cause you're gonna have to have a little bit off of the house to drive
10 foot.
right beside the house.
Yes, ma'am.
And if there's enough room to get something down through
Well,
there
it's
to get to
15
the back.
feet. Mr. Summerline went and
I
looked.
mean,
I
a
couldn't
car
measure
or a
and give you
regular
exact
truck.
figures, but 10 foot from the house, 5 foot from the fence. So that width you're looking at between where that black trailer sitting there beside it, they get a minus 15 feet from that. And, you know, a car might could fit, but a fire engine certainly won't. And
How far away is it from the retention pond? Do you know?
the retention pond is one fence over, I think it was, wasn't it, Mr. Summerlin?
It's backyard.
The backyard goes onto that retention pond.
It's 2 lots over from the entrance of the pond.
Right. So you'd have to come back out and go down, then go down the dirt road to get to the pond. We never take the equipment back there for no reason. But,
The city should not have to bear the cost of putting any infrastructure.
we wouldn't. No paving, no pipes, no nothing. But then at the end of the day, I can't guarantee you that if you built a house back there that we could get an ambulance. I know we couldn't get a Class A pumper back there. It wouldn't fit. It won't fit. I measured it. So I'm not sure what the council would like to do about that. We could, I guess, build it without fire protection. You won't be able to insure it.
I'd be leery because you know that you're not able to get it back there.
I know we can't. It won't fit.
Where is the closest, I didn't pay attention where the closest fire hydrant was.
It's on Lake Drive.
The entrance of the pond.
Yeah. That's not an issue. The problem is, if you laid the line, let's say that house was back there and it was on fire. They laid a line from that hydrant, they'd have to come down 2 lots and into the next lot. If for some reason they needed another engine, they couldn't get it in there because the line's already on the ground, because there's no egress from this lot. Unfortunately, this lot only has a way in, it doesn't have a way out. And there's no access from any of the other streets around it. It's a landlocked piece of property, all but the driveway beside the house.
So basically, you can't even get a fire truck down there, so if something happens and that house back there catches on fire, basically we're just supposed to sit there.
All the fire department would do would be protect the structures around it and lose it, because you couldn't get to it. So, and you don't ever want to put your fire engine where it can't back out if something doesn't go the way you hoped it would. And unfortunately, that's I went there and looked, and
Well, if that's a concern of the city, then, you need to protect all of the residents.
all the residents have to be protected. You're right. So unless the council has something else they'd like to have in conversation, I don't think we can approve the split to build a house. So I'm sorry, council, do you have any other conversation? anything?
Nothing.
Okay, I'm s-
You'd have a motion to deny
yeah,
the split.
I make that motion to deny.
so we've got a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
We got a second. Take the roll, please, Madam Clerk.
Miss Barrett,
Yes.
Miss Barrow,
Yes.
Mr. Chapel,
Yes.
Mr. Haney,
Yes.
Mayor Kelly.
Yes. I'm sorry, sir. Thank you for your time. Okay, this is the sign ordinance that's been, bounced around for some time for the off-premises signs. Mr. Sloan, do you have anything you'd like to add?
As the council will recall, several months ago, it came before the council to figure out what you wanted to do with respect to off-premise signs. Those essentially are commonly called billboards. And at that time, you imposed a moratorium on permitting any additional off-premise signs. Since that time, the issue has been taken up by the Planning Commission, and at their most recent meeting, there was a lot of discussion about the fact that the city is attempting to beautify the gateways into the city, which would be off Tyndall Parkway and off US 98 in particular, which would be the only real locations you might see a billboard, and that because of the beautification efforts both into the city and onto Tyndall Air Force Base, that the Planning Commission recommended that the city consider a blanket prohibition against off-premises signs. So if that's the direction of the council, if that's what you'd like to do,
Make a
I've
motion.
been working on an ordinance. It will be an amendment to the land development regulations to just bar future off-premises signs.
Good. Is there any way to make it like a code enforcement issue too for off-premises signs where we kind of ban them within 2 years? Then if they're still existing, kind of fine the property owner for having these off-premises signs?
Well, that goes way further, Mr. Haney, than what the Planning Commission was considering. They were just looking at a prospective
Sure.
regulation.
Preventing more.
Preventing more
Yeah,
from
of
coming
course.
in. And I can look at the possibility of seeing how potentially the city might be able to phase out existing ones. But at this point, all I've been working on, based upon the direction of the Planning Council, was simply to bar future off-premises signs. And if that's the direction of the council, then I would propose to bring back that ordinance at the next meeting. But I can continue to look at the issue of I don't know how many existing signs we have. That's one of the things I don't know.
There's several. Can you do it in your free time where you don't build a city for all this kind of stuff? Or
Free is a relative word.
It's
I'm
worth a
free
shot.
driving to work, but once I get there, I'm not so free.
awesome. Sounds good.
How much longer we got on the 6 months?
It's over.
I believe it's
passed
either
already.
4 or
over
5
now
days, I
or
think.
it's going to end very quickly.
At least extend a moratorium.
I think you're right. How about we extend the moratorium 180 days till Mr. Sloan gets a chance to finish up the ordinance
For his free work.
for free?
Yeah.
Because he already had 180 days and didn't finish it.
Yeah.
Well, nobody gave me direction until the last meeting of the planning
Then he
commission.
had the first 179 for
I
free.
mean, are we able just to extend it without having to go through the whole thing that we did before?
Well, technically, you should do the whole thing, but you can certainly pass a motion and indicate your indication. And I would suspect, Ms. Barrow, that you could have this thing at the next meeting.
I'd second her motion to extend the moratorium for 180 days.
Okay. Is that what you're saying?
I guess so.
Okay.
It's free.
We have we have a first and a second. Madam Clerk, you please call a roll.
Miss Barrett,
Yes.
Ms. Barrow,
Yes.
Mr. Chapel,
Yes.
Mr. Haney,
Yes.
Mayor Kelly.
Yes, thank you, ma'am.
So, Mayor, I'll bring back what I have as far as the ordinance.
Yep.
And then, I'll get with staff and figure out what we have as far as existing, billboards and look at doing something additional. But at least at this point, Mr. Haney, you would have for consideration banning future ones to help beautify the city.
Of course. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
And the fifth and last item is the annual vote for the planning commissioners. That's gonna be Mr. Rega, Mr. Hall, and Mrs. Hutto. My understanding is Ms. Hutto has been nominated for the pro tem, and one's a chair and one's a member. I guess the fourth person's not up for election.
Well, this would be just to reinstate
State them, right?
them
In those-
onto the planning
Okay,
commission.
yeah.
We're doing
So
another
those are
time.
the three people.
Can we do it all in one, or do we have to do?
Yeah, let's do it all, we can do it all in one.
Well, I make a motion that we.
I'll second.
We got a first, we have a second. Madam Clerk, you please call the roll?
Ms. Barrett,
Yes.
Ms. Barrow,
Yes.
Mr. Chapel,
Yes.
Mr. Haney,
Yes.
Mayor Kelly.
Yes. Congratulations, I hope it's free. Like the attorney.
Oh, it's on the record, so it's free now.
Mr. Haney, I'm sorry. Mr. Chapel, you have the floor, sir.
Well, the only thing I got to say is, we're having the, memorial dedication of by the flags. The time in most paperwork shows 4 o'clock. It's changed to 4:30. We're also having a movie. I forgot what the name of it is.
Coco.
Coco.
There'll be a movie afterwards, or when it gets dark enough, or so. I guess we're trying to see if this, event with the movie might be a reoccurring event every quarter or something like that. We're just, kinda seeing how it works out. Kinda like a drive-in movie, except it's a walk-in movie. You can't have your cars.
Is it to bring like a blanket or something, or bring your own chair?
I would say bring a chair or something to sit on. Window air conditioning would be what you need.
Yeah, big fan.
We have no
Might wanna
fan.
bubble things.
There's gonna be, if they all show up, food vendors. The projection screen is inflatable. And, if you kind of imagine the house that's across the street looking at the gazebo, that's where they're gonna set it all up. And then he's got food vendors all around the edges, and popcorn and other stuff to give away. We're gonna have, Chief Patterson's gonna put one of our engines out there. Police chief's gonna put some of his police cars out there.
Date again?
Ma'am?
The date? 26th.
Yeah. Same day as the dedication of the memorial.
Well, the food trucks won't be free. They'll have to purchase.
You'll have to
whatever they
pay
want
those
there.
people.
But what is actually gonna be given away on the other
Popcorn
vendors?
and a movie.
And that, the popcorn's free.
Well, that's what he said.
Is it? Okay, I'm just, so everybody will know, you know.
And then the movie's free, obviously. This is going to be a sample to see if there's any interest. And it could be that it's so darn hot that many people won't show up. I don't know. But you have to bring a blanket or something that to sit on or lay on, and some kind of a reclining chair or some kind of a chair to sit on in the park. And I got to confirm this. I think it's 8 o'clock. He said it was going to start. That seems a little bit late for kids'
The
movies.
movie.
It's starting at 6:30, the movie will start at 8.
The movie's at 8.
Yeah, the
So
event
it'll be
starts at 6:30.
dark enough. So.
But correct. But it's a Friday. I guess they won't go out. I don't know. 8 o'clock. How long does that Coco movie last? I've never seen it.
An hour and a half, maybe.
Hour and a half. So it'll be about 9:30 when it's done.
It's a Disney movie.
Probably 90 minutes or so.
Yeah. So, and I don't know how many vendors there'll be. This is like a first time try at doing this, you know, and I think it's admirable because he's trying really hard to figure this out. But my main goal for that day is to assist Mr. Chappell. He'll be organizing the award, the dedication of the memorial, and we'll go from there. Mr. Haney?
Yes, sir.
You have the floor.
I am very disappointed to hear of Ms. Riga's resignation. I'd like to know more about the facts of what caused this issue. I thought, well, I've always enjoyed her knowledge of the city, and
Absolutely.
her insight, and I'm very disappointed with the whole situation.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you could call her.
I
She
could.
probably could tell you.
Understand?
So, anything else?
That's it.
Okay. Ms. Barrow?
Well, I'm just gonna say that, add to what Mr. Haney has said, I personally am not gonna accept her resignation, so that's my opinion.
Are you gonna not accept it?
I'm not gonna accept it.
Okay,
Neither will I.
I'm with her on that.
okay. Well, if she doesn't come to work, what do we do?
I will go to her.
Okay.
I know where she lives. I could,
We have a hostage.
I also like her, but if you get overwhelmed, you're overwhelmed. If you are that so inclined to not accept her resignation, then maybe you'll accept mine.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Okay? If that's what you're telling me, the employee doesn't have the right to resign if they want to
Well,
resign.
they do have the right, I'm personally myself,
I think
I
it's more
just-
just emotional.
you know, I
Not
just,
It's what?
Just not accepting the emotional part of it.
Not accepting it.
I just,
We have to
I think
accept it,
we need to-
obviously. Emotionally.
Oh, I don't know, Mr. Chap. I don't know, Mr. Sloan. Is there such as an emotional acceptance?
No.
well, I would like a chance to talk to her myself.
Okay,
Well, once she submits her resignation, it's sort of an administrative task to accept it. However, she has resigned, so.
I'm just an emotional acceptance kind of person.
do you not want me to fill the position then, since that's what the council's desire is? Come on now, we started this journey.
All of a sudden, and I think we need time to go. I'm not even gonna discuss putting any application or anything right now. I mean,
Okay.
we're all just, it's kinda just, we come in here and here it is, you know, I mean,
Okay.
we need to,
Who do you,
Yes,
who
it's
would
all-
you like, which one of you can help fill in for the city clerk's position till you make a decision?
well, I think that's what,
Yeah, but we're
She
putting her in a difficult place now. If you don't accept it, we're not gonna be able to move
well,
forward.
it wouldn't matter, we could not get somebody hired for a little while anyway, cause all that has to be put out there and advertised and then get
Tomorrow, we were
applications.
gonna advertise it,
Um,
cause the resignation was today, but if you don't want to, that's fine.
Well, that, I mean, I'm just one person on this.
No, no,
council, so
three of you agree, that's the majority.
I just like to be able to get it, you know, kinda digested a day anyway, or something.
Okay, if that's what you wanna do. So when would you like to reconvene to either accept or not accept her resignation?
Well, like he said, we don't have to accept it, she's,
It is a fact.
And she is.
yeah, I mean,
resigned.
we don't have to, I'm just saying that I'm not personally accepting it. But, I mean, I want to know what's going on, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I want to know what's going on. Cause if there's something going on that we need to change or whatever we need to do, then we need to do it.
Well, I wouldn't have accepted it if she didn't offer it. And if you're displeased with the way I'm running the city, you need to let me
I have
know.
not said that, so let's not even go there.
That's what you said, you've implied it.
No, you're talking about one of the main people that held a job here. Now we've got to start back all over and put out there to everybody to let them know we're looking for a clerk again. And it's just gonna be, it's not gonna be something we're gonna do in the next couple weeks, get somebody hired, cause it's gonna take a little while to get it out there that, we're looking for somebody.
Okay,
I mean, I'm just,
I
so
think it would be fair that they at least knew the.
tell us what you want me to do. Tell us, do you want me to advertise this job?
well, we're gonna have to, I mean, but I don't know
You gotta
when, I
tell
can't
me.
tell you a date to, go put it, advertise it, cause, I mean, I don't know what, I'm just me, I don't know what the rest of everybody wants.
Well, you're 1/5 of the elected body of the city, and you've made a statement that you don't accept the application. So you gotta give me some guidance to tell me what to do in day-to-day now that you've chose to say that.
Maybe be a little transparent about how this issue came to fruition.
Is there anything that's not transparent?
I have no idea. I heard nothing about it. I just understand she resigned today, and
Yeah.
had some conflict, and that's the problem right there.
Okay.
I'd like to know what the conflict was and what's going on. I mean, that's how we all decide. If
Well, you
one of the-
don't get to decide because she quit already.
What made her get to that point where she decided to?
She told me.
We bamboozled Nancy Rowell for years and years and years to try to get her
That didn't
resigned.
work, did it?
She
But
told
she
me.
wouldn't until we finally get it to this council and said, you got to go.
She told me, Mayor, when I came to work here for you, if there ever came a time where you were displeased with the performance of my duties, I'll resign. Are you telling me you're resigning? She says, I am. I said, then fair enough, we can resign.
All right. But
That's how it came to pass. Every day I take the business of running the city extremely seriously. I expect to be aware of what goes on every day in this city so that we can stay a city. And if you decide you don't want to work here, that's okay. It doesn't mean I don't like a person or I don't get along with a person. But if you tell me you don't want to work here anymore, that you resign, then that's fine.
Well, where are we planning on putting this out to advertise?
The same as we always put out, Florida League of Cities, Indeed, everywhere.
how'd that work out before?
Well, we got her.
Before that?
Well, again, Mr. Haney,
You don't remember that, do you?
Mr. Haney, you could tell me what you want, how you want to advertise. You have 1/5 of the vote.
I'd like to advertise an apology to her so she come back and maybe do her job as she's been doing.
Okay, well, you're entitled to your opinion, sir, but it would have to be for the council
Certainly
to
am.
decide.
Right.
So let's vote on it, if that's what we want to do. Do I have a first and a second? Do you want to bring her back and
think-
not accept her resignation?
I think damage is probably done where she don't want to come back. She wasn't doing this for the clout. She wasn't doing it for the money. She was doing it for the sake of the city and her own good will.
Okay,
Okay, well, why
Well-
don't we just figure on, in the meantime, we can, if we wanna talk to her, we can, but, gotta get the,
We
thing
gotta
ready
get
to
past
put
the
out for,
micromanagement.
to advertise.
right.
So that ain't something we're just gonna do tomorrow, it'd take, what, a day or two to get it together and figure out what you're gonna do?
Well, we would probably use the same application as we used the last 3 or 4 clerks. And we would advertise it, I would think, the same way as we advertise that. But if you feel that strongly, Mr. Haney, put a motion on the floor,
Which is that motion?
that you bring her back.
Well, it's kind
I
of
think
it's
it's,
kind of up to her at this moment.
I don't think we can actually go and,
I mean, you can't
we
force
need
somebody.
to talk to her or, on one-on-one basis or something like that to find out if she would even, accept, coming back. You know, she might just, say no, she don't even wanna come back, so, I don't see where we should be wasting time.
Well, I think we need to go ahead and get ready to go ahead and get the advertisement ready. And then in the meantime, if anybody wants to talk to her, whatever they wanna do, they can do that.
Okay, if that's what you want to do. All right, anything from the floor?
You didn't ask her, she.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm thinking about this now. Go ahead.
No, you're fine.
You good? Ms. Barrett, do you have anything?
I did, that's what I brought up just a little bit ago.
Oh, okay, all right.
Your turn, yeah.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.